Before you start the installation of your new Groundsman shed, there are a few things you'll want to check first. Clear your base area of anything that might get in the way during assembly. We're building this shed onto our pressure-treated timber porta base to protect it from damp and insects. We would always recommend installing on a dry day with a minimum of 2 people. For this installation you will need a screwdriver, a drill, a hammer, a tape measure, a ladder and a Stanley knife or cutting tool. Start off by removing the transportation blocks from each of the panels. They're nailed in, so give them a hard knock to remove them. You should fit the door first so that you can make sure the hinges are level. Begin by laying out the door framing strips around the edge of the panel opening. The frame should sit about 15mm back from the edge of the board on all sides. Affix these using 30mm screws. You can now place the door panels within the aperture. Line them up flush with the frame and place the hinges at the top, middle and bottom so they line up with the framing nails. Pre-drill through each of the screw holes to prevent the timber from splitting, and then secure each hinge in place using the 30mm screws provided. Place the floor panel down onto your prepared base and make sure that the bearers are flush with the supports. Start the main body of the installation with the rear gable and one of the sides to form an L-shaped join. Secure the panels at the top, middle and bottom of the framing with screws. Make sure to pre-drill all screw holes throughout this installation. It can take time but will prevent unnecessary damage to the timber. You can now bring in the other side panel and repeat this for the corner framing. Secure the front in the same method, screwing at the top, middle and bottom of each side with 50mm screws. With all the walls up, it's time to work on the roof. Line one of the panels up and slide it along the gables until it reaches the apex. The framing should lock into the pre-cut recess. Repeat this for the other panel, securing them in place through the board into the framing below on all sides. Now that the roof is on, you want to secure the framing of your building down to the floor to prevent any movement. Pre-drill and screw down into the framing at equal intervals using 50mm screws. With the felt, either measure the length of your roof with a tape measure, adding a few extra inches either end for overhang, or as we've done here, you can roll it out along the length of your building and cut to size. Use a Stanley knife or cutting tool to cut the felt for a nice clean finish. For this building, you'll need 3 strips of equal length. Roll the felt out along the roof and position it so that you have at least 2-inch overhang on all sides. Tack the felt at the top 2 corners to prevent any movement and secure them all around, making sure that the felt is pulled firmly to prevent wrinkles. Repeat this for the other side of the roof before rolling out the 3rd strip along the apex. This should overlap your 2 pieces and can then be tacked along the length of the roof on either side. With the roof finished, it's time for the trims. Fold the felt down so that it is sandwiched firmly between the fascia and the edge of the roof. Secure these at each end and the middle and repeat for all 4 fascias. Secure a finial at each end with 40mm screws. Align the corner trims over the side panel framing and then secure in place at the top, middle and bottom with 30mm screws. For the window, place the window strip evenly above the window opening and secure in place with screws. Place the window panel into position and align a hinge over each side before securing the window strip. Align the casement stay and catches onto the sill and secure the stay into the window framing. Use a screwdriver to attach the catches to the sill with 20mm screws. Place the lock over the internal framing of the master door and screw through into position. Attach a door handle on one end of the handlebar, threading it through the lock to the other side. Screw the second handle onto the bar before securing the handle guard. On the inside of the slave door, secure the lock stay with screws into the framing. The lock catch can be turned to hold the door closed. The door blocks need to be placed over the top framing of the slave door and secured with screws. You can now attach the tower bolt and stay with screws. Now that your shed is installed, you'll want to treat it with a good quality timber preservative to keep it protected throughout the year. Once you've done this, score around the edge of the window framing with a sharp knife on both the inside and outside of the window glazing. You should then be able to peel the protective plastic off the window. For more installations, please check out the other videos on our channel or visit waltons.co.uk.